Am I the asshole for exposing my husband's affair to his family after he tried to convince me it was my fault he cheated and now they're all mad at me? Okay, so I don't even know where to begin with this. I'm honestly so pissed off and confused that I need some outside perspective. So here's the situation. I've been married to my husband, Jake, for 7 years. We have 2 kids together, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Our life was, well, normal. Or at least, that's what I thought. We've had our ups and downs like any married couple, but nothing I would consider a major issue. At least, I never thought it was that bad. A few months ago, I found out my husband has been cheating on me. Yeah, you read that right. I found out by accident, actually. I was going through his phone, which I know I shouldn't have done, but I had this gut feeling something was off, and I saw messages between him and this woman, Kate, that went back months. The messages were all flirty at first, but then I saw a text where she said, "I love you." And that's when I lost it. I couldn't breathe, like my heart dropped and I just started shaking. I needed answers, so I confronted him right then and there. His first response? "It's not what you think, babe." Like, who even says that when you've got texts like that? I told him I wanted the truth, and eventually he came clean. It turns out he's been seeing this woman for almost 6 months. And get this, he had the audacity to tell me that it was my fault. Yeah, you read that right too. My fault. He said I had neglected him and wasn't there for him emotionally, and that I was too focused on the kids and work. He literally blamed me for his affair. I'm not even joking. This man, who has a full-time job, a nice house, a stable family, decided that his issues with me, like not enough quality time or whatever, were reason enough to cheat, and he tried to make me feel guilty about it. He told me if I'd just been more available or paid more attention to him, this wouldn't have happened. Obviously, I lost it. I couldn't believe he was actually trying to blame me for his actions. I mean, yeah, I work a lot, but I'm also raising 2 kids, managing the house, and doing my best to be a good wife. I'm not perfect, but blaming me for his cheating? That was the last straw. And here's where things get messy. I've always had a good relationship with his family. His parents are nice people, and his siblings are cool. They all know how much I love Jake and how hard I've worked to make our family life work. But after he tried to convince me it was my fault, I got so angry that I told his family. I didn't know what else to do. He was still trying to manipulate me and make it seem like I was the villain. He'd cry and say how he didn't want to hurt me. But clearly, he didn't give a shit about me at all. So I called his mom and dad, and I told them everything. I laid it out, how he had an affair, how long it had been going on, and how he blamed me for his actions. At first, they didn't believe me. They thought I was just upset and emotional, which, yeah, I was. But it wasn't just anger. It was betrayal, confusion, and heartbreak all rolled into one. So I kept telling them the truth. I showed them the texts. I made sure they understood exactly what was going on. When they finally saw the messages, they were shocked. His mom started crying, and his dad just stood there, completely speechless. But then, here's where it gets even worse. Jake turned the whole thing around and said that I was causing unnecessary drama, and that I shouldn't have gone behind his back to tell his family. He literally told them that I was the one who ruined everything, and that I should have kept this private and handled it like an adult. So now, after all this, his whole family is mad at me. They're upset that I exposed his affair to them and made him look bad. His mom keeps saying that I should have kept our personal issues between us, and his dad keeps telling me that I need to calm down and think about the consequences of my actions. And honestly, I'm just sitting here, feeling so defeated. It feels like no matter what I do, I'm always the bad guy. I mean, I get that this is a tough situation for his family, but why is everyone mad at me? It's like they're more upset that I ruined the family peace than the fact that their son is a cheater. I keep asking myself, did I do the wrong thing? Am I the asshole here? Should I have just kept quiet and dealt with Jake's betrayal on my own? Or was it right to tell them the truth? I'm just lost, and I'm honestly not sure who I can trust anymore. So Reddit, AITA, for exposing my husband's affair to his family after he tried to convince me it was my fault and now they're all mad at me. Am I the asshole for exposing my husband's affair to his family after he tried to convince me it was my fault he cheated and now they're all mad at me? Part 2. So yeah, I'm still reeling from everything that's happened. After I told his family about Jake's affair, I honestly thought I was doing the right thing. Like, what was I supposed to do? Keep it all to myself? Let him spin this story about how I was the one who drove him to cheat? Nah, no way. But now, I feel like I've been hit by a truck, emotionally. It's been a few weeks since all this went down, and things have just kept spiraling. At first, Jake was super mad at me for telling his family. He called me all sorts of names, told me I was overreacting, and how I just needed to relax. I honestly couldn't even look at him without feeling like I was going to explode. He had the nerve to try to make it seem like I was the one at fault here, that I was the crazy one. And you know what? What made it worse was his mom. She's usually so sweet and understanding, but now it was like a completely different person. She actually told me, and I quote, "You're making things worse by airing out our family business. You should have kept this between you and Jake and figured it out like adults." I'm sorry, what? Keep it a secret? Keep his affair quiet? You want me to just let it slide? Because it's better for the family? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was the one who got cheated on. Yet I was the one being asked to just shut up and act like everything was fine. She even had the nerve to tell me that it wasn't her fault that Jake cheated, and that maybe I hadn't been doing enough to keep our marriage strong. It felt like she was putting the blame back on me again. Again. I don't know if they're just blind to how he's acted or what, but this was not the support I was expecting from his family. Jake and I got into a huge argument after that. He accused me of ruining everything and shaming him in front of his family, and then he told me I needed to apologize to everyone. Like, seriously? The guy cheated, and I'm the one who has to apologize for telling people the truth? What universe am I living in right now? It honestly got to the point where I had to take a step back and really think about what I was doing. Was I just too emotional in the heat of the moment? Was I the one overreacting? Maybe I could have waited, calmed down, and tried to talk to him first before telling his family. But every time I thought about that, I'd remember those texts, those late-night phone calls, and the way he looked me in the eye and blamed me for everything. I just couldn't let it go. So I stuck to my guns. I told Jake I wasn't going to apologize. He kept pushing, though. He told me I was going to lose everything, our house, our friends, his family. It was like he was threatening me. And honestly, that didn't work on me. At that point, I was so fed up with trying to make him see how hurt I was. But what really messed me up was the way his family started treating me. His sisters were pissed. One of them actually went off on me, saying that I was tearing apart the family and how Jake is a good person deep down. Seriously? How deep is he down? Because as far as I can see, the only good he's shown me lately is convincing me that I was at fault for his actions. That doesn't sound like a good person to me. I couldn't even look at his sisters the same way after that. They were mad at me for revealing the truth. But you know what? They never once asked me how I was feeling, or even if I was okay. It was like suddenly everything was about Jake, his reputation, his feelings, his mistakes, and my emotions didn't matter. His family wasn't interested in hearing how I felt or how much pain he'd caused me. They were too busy playing the let's protect Jake game. It was honestly a slap in the face. And then there's his dad. Don't even get me started. He's been the most distant out of all of them. He hasn't spoken to me in weeks, not even a "hey, how are you holding up?" Just silence. And whenever Jake talks about me or even mentions my name, his dad looks at him like he's a damn saint. No joke. His dad never took my side, never defended me, and never once even acknowledged how messed up this whole situation was for me. I feel like I'm invisible to them. But it doesn't stop there. I've been receiving messages from people in his family, extended relatives, even friends of his parents, telling me that I'm destroying the family, that I shouldn't have gone public with it. It's been one message after another, and it honestly makes me sick to my stomach. These people have known Jake for years, but the second I stand up for myself and expose the truth, suddenly, I'm the villain. The one who needs to apologize. And here's the kicker. Jake's already forgiven himself. He's fine. He's out there doing his thing, acting like nothing happened, while I'm here picking up the pieces of my life, getting hate from his family, and trying to hold it all together for my kids. I'm starting to doubt myself. Maybe I should have kept quiet. Maybe I should have tried to salvage things behind closed doors. But I honestly just don't know if I could have lived with myself pretending like I didn't know what was going on. It feels like I was expected to just keep my mouth shut and let him get away with it. But here's the thing. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to let him off the hook just because it's easier for everyone else. And now I'm left questioning everything. Is this my fault? Was I wrong to expose him? Should I have just handled it differently? Because right now all I see are people who are mad at me for telling the truth, and I don't know how to fix that. My family's been supportive, but they don't know the full extent of how badly his family has turned on me. It's exhausting. I've honestly never felt so isolated in my life. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm the asshole for exposing him. I know it's a tough situation, but I'm stuck between standing my ground and wondering if maybe I did go too far. AITA for exposing my husband's affair to his family when he tried to convince me it was my fault. And now they're all mad at me. Should I have just kept my mouth shut?